Hello and welcome to the Sabbath Show. Everton are in deep trouble. We lose 2-1 to Southampton in a game where we put out our best team with our best formation against bottom in the league and lost. In 3 weeks, we've lost to bottom place twice after scoring the first goal and then conceding the next 2. And look, I'm in utter disbelief. I don't know what to say. The tone was set prior to this game. You know, we had fans once again basically meeting the team bus upon arrival. But for me, when the board of directors didn't show up because of a fear for safety and security, well, I'm in fear for this team's safety and security in the Premier League. Extremely ironic. Those were the words. That was the wording that they stated exactly their reason for not being there. I mean, extremely ironic and extremely fitting for the situation we are in. Let's talk about the game. I'm going to say this completely off the cuff, cut to the chase, because there's not much to say, because I'm completely gobsmacked by the result. We had our chances in this game, plenty of chances. And look, it was finally good to see a team not held down by shackles, if you know what I'm saying, because even though we were playing bottom in the league, we seemed to be more assertive in going forward, and it was really good of us to, make those driving runs. The player of the game today is Onana. He was an everywhere man today. Doing everything, winning the ball back, bringing the ball forward, winning vital 50-50s, using the body well to shield the ball and then, help us progress forward. All of that. He was exceptional, and he was probably the most consistent performer by a country mile today. But look, if we're going to talk about the goals, I need to mention Onana's name in that, because him and Idrissa Gana Gueye were responsible for that first goal. James Ward-Prowse should not be unattended going forward. In his whole run from the halfway line all the way to where he scored the goal, no one picked him up. No one. And he was just allowed to waltz into the penalty box and score a simple goal. Gana Gueye and Onana both had opportunities to pick him up, and how they did not even observe him and just basically, shed a blind eye to it is just baffling to me. And then the second goal. Well, early this season, I was giving this Everton defence plaudits for, being smart and having some good IQ in certain situations. Well, in the first Southampton meeting, Seamus Coleman was in the game when there was a Ward-Prowse free kick. And what did he do? He stood on the goal line at the time of the free kick and was able to send it away without Jordan Pickford needing to be tested. In this game, no one had the nous, the defensive nous, to stand on the goal line and support Pickford. I will give Pickford a little bit of criticism for his positioning on that free kick, because he didn't even try for it. I mean, he was well beaten by it. It was a good free kick. But, he should have been further across to the right and sort of flagged that Ward-Prowse is good when he's swinging it across his body from that part of the pitch on a free kick, on a set piece. And unfortunately, we got beaten out by some brilliance, and unfortunately, we lacked that once again. Now, the worry is, I know Frank is going to get sacked. It is inevitable. It's just a matter of when. The issue I have, and I've mentioned this in the previous video about Frank Lampard, do we have a plan of who we're going to sign when we sack him? Why are we off-putting or putting off, sacking him? We're already halfway through the transfer window and have done nothing. We've probably made minimal progress, but we have made progress in terms of scouting and researching players under Frank's tenure. So if we get rid of him, is it going to be a full reset and we have to get in new players that fit Dyche's system, for example? But even so, if we bring in Sean Dyche, I have no faith that we may be able to stay up. Purely because, as I said, we put out our best team with our best formation and still could not manufacture enough goals to win the game. The midfield probably, was, letting players through too easily for Southampton. I do like that we were more aggressive going forward. I do think it was a game you had to be on the front foot for, and you needed to try and manufacture something. But in saying that, you needed to find a balance, and being that vulnerable in trying to attack and go forward probably wasn't worth it. The substitution of Anthony Gordon, if we talk about the build-up for the second Ward-Prowse goal, Anthony Gordon was useless today. Useless. He did absolutely nothing worth mentioning. And look, obviously he gave away a free kick in an unforgivable spot. And it was a really soft free kick to give away as well. But then you talk about, if you rewind it just a little bit further and you see Demarai Gray. And the mistake he made early on that led to the build-up, which led to the free kick, which led to the goal, was basically how it was for him all day. There were a couple good things he did in the first half, but more often than not, once again, he had runners on the outside and he would take players on himself and not pass it, turn it over. And that's been part of the problem with this Everton attack. It's way too predictable for oppositions. They can anticipate very easily where the ball is going simply because we have no ball movement. No ball movement, and the ball isn't moving quickly when it is being moved. And Demarai Gray would either, if he did pass it, he would go backwards. And once again, we had some good driving runs down the middle, but when we reached a certain point, there was no plan. DCL constantly getting called for offside. Constantly turning the ball over once again, as I mentioned. So it's just really frustrating because, those opportunities we did have, on a good day they would have gone in the back of the net. But of course, it's Everton Football Club. You're not going to get luck more often than not. As I said, it's a worry. I don't know what comes next. I don't know why we're dawdling to sack a manager. Because as I said, it's inevitable. I don't want him to go. The reason I said in the previous video was because of uncertainty. I don't have any guarantee we're going to stay up. Because the playing group was subpar today, and that was our best team. And so I don't know where the solution is going to arise, because you can bring in a coach. But once again, we've talked about the lack of transfers and the lack of change and, expecting things to change when there isn't any. It's not just going to happen. It's not just going to happen. And as I said, apart from Onana today, who can hold his head up high because everything he did, turned into gold. The majority of the players on the pitch, weren't doing anything inspiring or anything more than what they should have been doing. I think that's the key. When we laud someone for playing good defensively, let's say Tarkowski, for example. When we laud someone for playing well defensively, that should just be a staple of a defender's job, to defend. And even so, that wasn't even achieved today. Conceding 2 goals and in such a cheap and easy fashion makes it even more frustrating. Now, obviously, the fans have been extremely vocal through all of this. They're rightfully upset. I'm upset representing the fan base. Obviously, I don't have a big audience, but I'm just saying, I'm one of many that feel the exact same way, and we just need change. It really is that simple. Seriously, just sitting on your ass, doing nothing, and just letting the whole situation pan out the way it's going is not going to end well. And as I said, there is time to resurrect the season, but we only have a specified period where we can actually make sizable adjustments to the playing group that could potentially transform our team. We only have 15 days to do it. Once those 15 days are gone, it is with what we've got. And it's going to have to be stuff on the fly, on the training ground, this and that. And as as shown today, it doesn't look good with the playing group we've got. It's really that simple. So, I don't know what comes next. I really don't. Share your thoughts in the comments about this. We'll see you next week. Possibly things would have changed. I mean, we know how the Everton Football Club goes. We dwell on certain issues for so long, expect it to work, it doesn't work, and then we do it when invariably it's all too late. So let's see what the next week holds, and hopefully we can somehow clutch up a result against yet again another relegation battler. But if the last few weeks have proved anything, or the last few fixtures have proved anything, it's that we can't even beat anyone around our ladder position, and that's going to bode incredibly poorly for our chances of survival this season. Last season we were beating good teams, but now we can't even beat the shit teams, and in winning positions as well. We're doing everything humanely possible to go down, and so I don't know what the future holds. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Goodbye.